We're gonna place you on leave.
Oh, please don't.
You're going on, I gotta have no choice.
Please
I
don't.
have no choice.
I'm living paycheck to paycheck right now. This will kill me. Is this going to go public?
On September 17, 2013, close to noon at the Tannery Marketplace parking area, a woman approached an ATM. As she arrived, she noticed a man had parked his vehicle near the Water Street machine and was behaving inappropriately within her sight. Hurriedly, the man departed upon realizing he'd been seen. The woman quickly reported the occurrence to the authorities, offering details about the man and a partial license plate of his vehicle. Days later, while passing by the police department, she noticed the same truck parked in their lot. Assuming the man had been arrested, she inquired about it, only to discover that the police hadn't yet identified the suspect. Surprisingly, the truck belonged to Sergeant Stephen Chasson. Consequently, he became the primary suspect, leading to his interrogation. However, before facing any questioning, there are a few past incidents to address. On the day the woman filed her report, Sergeant Chasson received word from an officer about a complaint lodged against him. Upon learning of the investigation, he opted to alter his license plate. This decision was made following the woman's visit to the station, reporting an incident involving a vehicle resembling his own. As the interrogation commences, the immediate focus centers on his abrupt change of license plate.
It'd be easy if I go through a list of questions to get to try to understand the whole thing. So you know the incident we're talking about. We're talking about the Water Street incident. Yeah. Okay. Have you ever gone on the IMC computer and pulled up that incident itself?
I have.
How many times have you done that?
I think 2 or 3 times.
Why?
Just to check on it and see if there's any more updates or whatnot.
Okay. When was the last time you looked at it?
I think I looked at it this morning.
Okay. With the intent of just keeping track of what's going on with it?
Right.
Okay. Has there been any changes in it?
Not that I noted, no.
Okay. How often do you get your hair cut?
Monthly.
Where do you go?
I go to Salisbury Square, but the last time I went to the place next to Panera, it was on a Wednesday.
Soriano?
Yeah.
And how long ago was that to get your last one done?
Wednesday, probably 2 to 3 weeks ago.
Okay. Do you chew tobacco?
On occasion.
On occasion being?
Some points regularly, some points, I quit for a month or two, a week here, a week there. Yeah, I do.
Is it stress driven? Is it just habit driven?
Habit, nicotine, I guess.
Okay. On the 17th, which is the date that we've all been talking about.
Yeah.
Were you at the police station that morning?
I was.
How long?
I think I left here around I came here at 10. Me and Chucky had a meeting with Tony King and Steve Saforza in the morning. I came here after that around 10 o'clock. Probably left here around a little bit before 11.
Is that the only time you were in the station that day, or if you can
I
remember?
believe so, yeah.
All right. And you remember what you were wearing that day?
I was wearing white cargo pants and a red shirt similar to this. I don't know what my footwear was. I assume sneakers.
And you operate the truck, the rust-colored truck?
Yeah, that is my vehicle.
And it's got it had the registration 359
BPH.
Paul Henry?
Yes.
Did you have the truck that day?
Yes.
Were you on Water Street or Federal Street or any of these streets near there that day?
No, I wasn't.
Not near any of them?
No. Well, I was probably on Water Street maybe, but actually no, it still would have been Market Square if I went up state, so no.
So you never went down that way at all?
Never.
For any reasons that day?
No. Not
the
for any
entire
reason.
day, when you left here, where'd you go?
I went to the North End Boat Club, checked on my boat, and then I went home.
Was there anybody at home that would?
Yeah, my wife.
Okay. You know where the ATM machine is on Water Street, correct?
Yes.
Where's that located?
On the east side of the Tannery building
Okay.
on Water Street.
Facing water? Yeah, I guess,
Well,
can you
parking
see it
lot.
from Water Street?
Yes.
Okay, yeah. And you've changed the registration of your truck.
I have.
Why did you do that?
Because a woman came in here and said that was the truck who she saw somebody masturbating in. And, if somebody was doing that with a truck similar to mine, with a plate similar to mine, I talked to Greg Whitney and he suggested I change my plate. And so I did.
Do you think that's kind of like a drastic move?
Not really. It's free. It didn't cost me any money. It was just, she keeps on seeing that plate here and keeps on thinking it's me. I was just trying to, like I said, I didn't run out and change the plate. I know how it looks to some people, but, when she came into the station, my place of work, I figured try to, just, stop her from seeing that truck here. I didn't want attention drawn to me or the PD.
Okay. So you got red plates, new red plates.
Right.
Are they both on the truck or just one?
Just one right now.
Was it two?
There was.
So you've taken one off again?
I have.
Why?
The bolts, it rattled. I have to get bolts that don't hit the back of it, so it'll tighten up.
Okay. Do you know the lady, you read in the reports then, who the person, who
Right.
the victim is? Do you know this person?
Never,
Have you ever met her?
no.
Any interaction with her?
Not that I know of, no. When I first thought about this, I was thinking maybe a drug suspect or something, but, I don't know her, from a hole in the wall pretty much.
So you didn't commit any sexual acts on Water Street?
Absolutely not.
And no reason to understand why someone would be accusing you of it?
No, I have no open cases. I have no, I don't think it's that. Originally I did, but, there's really no reason to go after me,
Initially, the interrogation began with queries about Sergeant Chasson's haircut and his tobacco preferences, caused by the woman's description in the incident report, citing curly hair and a chewing tobacco habit. However, during the interrogation, he had recently changed his hairstyle, making the description invalid, though it didn't exclude him from suspicion. He asserted wearing a red shirt with white cargo shorts that day, but stubbornly denied being present during the incident. His explanation for changing the license plate revolved around the woman's repeated sightings of a similar truck at the police station. While it was reasonable for her to identify the vehicle, his decision to alter the plates appeared suspicious, especially considering the circumstantial nature of the evidence, known only to lead investigators. There lingered a possibility that, as a sergeant, he had the means to effect such changes. He maintained no knowledge of the victim and strongly denied engaging in any inappropriate activity near Water Street at that time. The puzzle didn't align, leaving it as a clash of testimonies between the woman and him.
Is there anything you can explain to me or make me understand that would, other than you're saying you didn't do it? She's describing, you've seen the report, she describes you to a T. The cargo pants, the dark curly hair.
I really don't think I have curly hair. I have dark hair, but no, I can't explain that away. I honestly can't.
And can you explain why a vehicle similar to yours shows up on the ATM cameras?
No, probably the vehicle that was there. It's if there was somebody there in a vehicle like mine, it could have been that vehicle.
Do you know of any other trucks that look like yours with that plate number on it?
Not with that plate number, no. There is a truck around here with green plates, but it's different registration. Me and Josh saw it the other day in Salisbury when we were doing a drug thing. The only difference on that one is the single cab, and I think she described the vehicle that was there as a single cab.
I'm between a rock and a hard plate on this one.
I know how it looks.
It looks
I do.
really bad.
I know.
And if you've got some situation going on, I suggest now's the time to say it, because from here, it's only going to get worse. If there's something going on that you want to talk about, that you want to move forward with, at this moment, this is the only time it's going to happen.
There's nothing I can think of. I wasn't there that day. I wasn't on Federal. I wasn't in the tannery. I wasn't there.
Okay.
I'll volunteer to give you my cell phone records. And if they can show the tower where they're from, it'll show the timestamps on where I was when I received that. I was texting you that day about a rubber boat, right around the time of this. The earlier calls I was here, I talked to Chris McDonald. I talked to an Ipswich police officer about a dive training. And then I'm back home when I'm on the phone there. I'm not sure what time you text me. I think it was around 11.
I don't remember.
And, I still have them in my phone if you want to see them right now.
Yeah, whatever you got that's.
What time did this allegedly happen? That wasn't, I don't think, in the report.
11:52.
11:52.
What's funny is the day before you texted me a picture of a car. Yeah, I had a red plate, but
You know what? I went back and looked for that, and I had deleted it.
I have it right here.
Oh, you
Just
still
if you
have
want
my
to make a
text?
note. Yeah, I have all the day
I
before.
remember that.
I have to go back again. Obviously not my plate. It was a red plate.
What's the plate on that?
You really can't see.
You can't read it. Even if you blow it up?
You can't blow it up.
Yeah, I remember some.
But honestly, Matty Cunningham, I was on a detail the other day. Matty Cunningham called me, busting my balls saying, stay away from the donuts. I'm like, what are you talking about? He goes, I just saw you. Stay away from the donuts. It was at Cider Hill. Again, a truck like mine, But let me get to that day. September 17th, you sent me a picture at 10:55, two pictures at 10:55 of a boat you're looking at.
Okay. Did you respond? I don't remember.
At noon I responded. I was on the road when I got it.
Where were you?
At my house.
You were at your house at noon?
Yes. I typed nice. You gonna go for it? You responded back at 11:59, taking my time. At 12, you came back. Nice little boat, though. I responded at 12:01. Yeah, it is. You came back at 12:07, 40 mile an hour top speed. 12:08. I said, use it for dive training. You can write it off.
What was the earliest text that you sent?
The earliest one I sent was 59.
What time?
11:59.
11:59. What's that say?
It says, yeah, it is. Oh, no, hold on. It says, nice. You gonna go for it? Question mark. If you want to see it, it's right here. And then we go on. Because I'm sitting at my computer, I actually sent you a photo of one at Seabrook. I said, go to boattrader.com. I took a picture of the screenshot. Said go to boattrader.com, type in 15-foot Zodiac, and then search New Hampshire. The boat is a good deal. Asking $16K, barely used. And that was at 12:14. And then we have you just said thanks after that, but you can see from the picture, I'm just, it's a screenshot from my computer.
Right. Don't delete your browsing history.
Alright. You can have my cell phone records, get tower information.
The report completely describes him.
The report provides a comprehensive description that aligns closely with Sergeant Chasson's features, and soon enough, the timeline will likely confirm his presence at the scene. Yet, at this stage, he resolutely denies involvement and expresses complete willingness to cooperate. Notably, the initial report mentioned a red plate, which he promptly changed to a green one after the victim spotted the vehicle. The interrogator's task now involves constructing a precise sequence of events, placing him at the scene. His compliance becomes a pivotal factor as his messages and call logs could potentially shape a timeline verifying his presence there.
So what times were you home that day? You were from when you left here? What time?
Left here, went to the boat, stayed there for 5 minutes just to make sure the bilge pumps were working. I hadn't been on it in a long time. So I'm guessing I got your text on the way home, which was 11.
So you weren't home at 11.
Was not home at 11, probably just after that.
You tell me. Estimate. 11:05, 11:10.
11:15.
Say you were here from 10 to 11. I suppose we can check to find out when you left the building.
Right.
Okay, so you leave the building and then you go where?
The boat club.
So you go to the boat club, and you're there for how long?
5-10 minutes. Just went down, make sure the boat was floating.
And from the boat club, you go right home.
Straight home.
But you said you were down in Market Square.
No, I said when I came over the bridge from meeting with Chucky, I may have gone through Market Square to get to the station. But, I didn't stop anywhere, or anything like that. So that would have been around 10 o'clock. But I wasn't east of Green Street when I left here. And that was right around 11, 10, 55, somewhere around there. Whenever I left here.
Okay.
And you were at your house until when?
Texted with you for a while. Probably left there around 12:30. Actually, no, I went for a walk with my wife. So it was probably in the afternoon if I went anywhere.
Estimate. If you left your house
I left my house with my wife for a walk.
at 12:30.
Yeah, 12:30. It was right after I was done texting you. We walked the entire rail trail down to Stripers.
Also, how long were you? How long?
Hour. That's when Gregory called me. I was down pretty much at Stripers
Where were you when I called you?
on the way back.
You were on the rail trail with her?
Yeah, so I have that in my call log. I'll have that.
Did anyone see you on the rail trail?
Not that I can know.
That you didn't run into anybody you recognized?
No. I'm there all the time, so I can't.
How often do you walk the rail trail with your wife?
We've probably done it this fall, probably 3 or 4 times.
How would September 17th stick out in your mind that you guys walked the rail trail from any other day?
Because I told her, somebody just accused me of, jerking off in front of, the way Gregory explained it first, somebody was standing in front of the ATM. And then, so she'll remember that day. Almost there.
So somebody saw a pickup truck like yours from here on Federal Street later in the morning, early afternoon.
It was not mine.
It's not yours.
Absolutely. All right, 17th. I called Brian Reed at 10:19 here from Ipswich PD to Ipswich PD. I called Chris McDonald 10:21. Brian Reed called me back at 10:22. Chris McDonald called me back at 10:33. And Greg Whitney called me about this incident at 12:56.
At 12:56, you're where?
I'm pretty much at Stripers on the rail trail. I call him back 4 minutes later to find out if he's actually serious.
So did you talk to him or did you leave a message?
I talked to him.
Oh.
The lieutenant called me at 1:46.
About this?
Yeah, he was kind of, hey, heard you were jerking off in front of the, tannery. Greg Whitney called me back at 1:53. I called him back at 2:05.
Let's go back up around the 11 o'clock then.
All right.
11:50
So 11:33 is when I was talking to Chris McDonald here, and I left shortly after that. So
11:33, you're still here.
yes. My next phone conversation was at 12:56 with Gregory. He called me.
So 11:33, you're here talking to
Chris McDonald.
How long after that conversation did you leave?
Probably right after.
Okay, so you leave here right after, head to the boat, right?
Yep.
At boat club. And your next phone after 11:33 is what?
Next phone is 12:56. Gregory calling me.
Called the first time, right?
Right.
Okay. So let's go back to your text. Go back to your text.
Okay, I got it.
Set around 11:45, 11:40. This is what time is it? It was 11:52
or
Okay, so set about 11:40.
I have nothing until 11:59.
11:59.
That's when I text the lieutenant. And we have a conversation through 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 texts between 11:59 and 12:16.
So 11:59, he texts you.
No, he
No,
texted me at
I'm sorry.
10:59.
Right.
I was on the road when I got that. I went home, and then I got back to him at
So
pretty much
you got a
noon.
text from him at 10:59
Right.
that
He just texted me 2 pictures of a boat.
I'm sorry, Steve. 10:59, he texted you.
10:55. I'm sorry. 10:55. He texted me 2 pictures of a boat.
10:55.
And it was about an hour later I got back to him.
What time did you get? So 10:55, you get the text from him.
Yeah, and I was on the road, so I was between here and home.
Okay. So 10:55, you get a text from him showing you 2 pictures.
Right.
You get back to him when?
11:59.
And you say, nice, you're going to go for it.
I said, "Are you going to go for it?" Let me get back to it. You can take screenshots if you want.
Sergeant Chasson's provided timeline presents inconsistencies. According to his account, he left the station at 11:33, took a brief 5-minute stop at a boat club, and then walked with his wife outside their home by 12:30. At 12:56, Officer Gregory informed him about the complaint. However, the sequence of events seems disjointed. His chat records indicate concluding a conversation with colleague Chris at 11:33, claiming he left the station afterward. Furthermore, he mentioned engaging in a chat of around 10 to 11 texts between 11:59 and 12:16 after reaching home, correcting an earlier mention of 11:23 to 10:23. This correction creates a significant gap in the timeline, leaving room for a potential stop unaccounted for. Despite the substantial evidence he presents, the timeline suggests Sergeant Chasson could have been in the vicinity of Water Street during the incident. The issue of his altered license plate also looms, contributing to the mounting suspicions.
I said, nice, you're gonna go for it.
So the only text that you have from 10:55 was the two pictures came in from him.
Right,
And an hour later, 11:59.
Yeah.
You take and tell him you're gonna go for nice. You're gonna go for it.
right,
And at 10:55, you're on the road going home.
Yeah.
But you tell me at 11:30 you're still here talking to Chris McDonald.
oh. I left here at 10:20. My last conversation with Chris was at 10:23. I have it right here.
Am I wrong? Or did,
I can
No,
show
I
it
thought
to
you
you.
said, I thought you said 11:23.
No, 10:23, I'm talking to Chris McDonald and Brian Reed right after each other.
okay.
I'll show it to
I'm
you
just,
right
no,
now.
I'm not. I'm just trying to get it correct. My understanding was you said the first one you had was 11:33. Talked to Chris McDonald, and you left the station right after that and went to the
It
boat
was
club.
10, I'll pull it up again. It was 10:23, I think, or
Okay.
10:33 is when I started those. I'll show it to you right now.
So you left, all right, you left the station at 10:23.
10:30. So
Okay.
Let me find out exactly when the last conversation was with
And
Chris.
then you went to the boat club.
Right.
Trust and a JCR, correct? Good on.
10:17. Brian Reed from Ipswich at 10:19. Chris McDonald 10:21. Brian Reed called me back 10:22. I think I was talking to Chris. Brian buzzed in. I said, I'll get back to you. 10:33 McDonald.
Okay, so
I left here.
when you were talking, you said 11. So
I'm sorry.
So it's 10:33.
Right.
You're talking to McDonald at the station, and you left here shortly thereafter to go
Right.
to the boat. And from the boat, you went home.
Yeah, a few minutes at the boat. Went home.
10:55.
Got the two texts from the lieutenant.
Okay, so you're saying by 11 o'clock you're at the house, and the only time you leave is
Yeah.
to go for a walk with your wife.
Right. And I don't know if I left in the afternoon for anything, but, you know, the walk took up, I don't know if I was working midnight that night or not. You know, I don't know if I went to bed or whatever, but I definitely didn't go back to Newburyport, you know, in that area, especially after Greg told me, you know, description of the vehicle and everything.
Okay. Here's the problem I'm having. I've got a lady that describes a guy that fits your description. The
Somewhat.
haircut.
I don't think the haircut does. I've never had curly hair, so, but,
Well, dark hair, wavy hair, wearing cargo pants, driving an orange burnt truck with the three initials to your plates.
right,
That appears to be chewing tobacco. All right, that's got a lump right in the front of his chin, which you admittedly do.
well, with Dyson hairs, but I don't put it in the front of my chin. I put it on the side of my mouth, but,
Okay.
no, splitting hairs, but.
So I'm just looking for some way, given the circumstantial evidence that we have here, you know, the next step.
Can
is
she
to-
do a lineup? Can she do a,
Um,
you know,
I'm not sure. I'm not sure she can pick you out of the lineup.
well, I'm hoping she wouldn't pick me out of a lineup. Can she see me and say, no, that's not him, or I don't see the person here?
She's not confident. So now we're back to all the circumstantial stuff. I've got a burnt colored truck parked in front of the bank. I've got your plate number, the last three numbers of a plate that's yours.
Yeah.
I've got you changing your plates.
Well, changing my, you know,
Well, I'm just telling you what the facts are.
all right.
You've never come down to speak to me not once about this, never to say anything other than, like I was never there, anything.
I thought it went away. I thought this was,
Well,
this is 6 weeks later, and,
if you thought it went away, why do you keep looking at the report?
just to see if anything's changed.
Why would you do that?
Just to see if, Gregory got anything back, any more, evidence or whatnot.
What would it matter if it wasn't you?
I'd like to find out who it was. I think Gregory would come to me, but, Gregory doesn't come to me anymore. So, I figured,
I
something.
feel like you're out there by yourself.
Yeah.
And you've reached out to nobody.
In what way?
Well, you say, I'm saying, I guess.
I was reaching out to Greg, seeing if he found out anything, and he said he was out looking for the truck, stuff like that. Quite honestly, I was too. I almost got in an accident over at Tom's Discount. I saw a truck like mine, and I went to look at it and almost ran into the guy in front of me. It's not like, I just thought, nothing happened after the first week or two. This was going to go away. I knew how it looked, and that's what I was hoping for.
Well, I can certainly imagine that you're hoping for that.
All right.
Now, you've chased down some trucks that look like yours?
Yeah.
Have you got the plate numbers?
Got the plate of one.
Is there anything close to your plate?
No.
Is there
But there are BPH plates. There's one in Salisbury. We have two in-house here. They're not on those trucks, but, on the offhand, Gregory said she wasn't even sure. She didn't think it was a mass plate. So, then we're looking at New Hampshire. I know Maine doesn't have any green plates, but,
An odd detail emerges. Despite being the primary suspect in the report, Sergeant Chasson was seen accessing the reports, potentially gaining insight into the evidence and description provided by the victim. This behavior raises suspicions regarding his decision to change the license plate. His access to the report, considering the conflict of interest, suggests a motive to potentially hide or tamper with evidence mentioned in the filed report. His deliberate actions, such as getting a haircut to alter his appearance and changing the license plate, seem more strategic than coincidental, pointing to an attempt to obscure potential incriminating details.
Well, I'll go back to my options. I've got limited options. I've got overwhelming circumstantial evidence that points towards you. I'm hoping you can offer me something that's going to take and...
my wife can attest to where I was. I don't know if my father lives next door, but I'm not sure where he was during the time or whatever. I can look into it more, try and think if somebody was around, but
Can I take a polygraph?
sure,
Do you have no problem taking that?
no problem at all.
Okay. The last thing I want to do is criminally charge you. I
hope
want to
so.
take and flip over every cup we can.
Yeah,
If we end up going down that road, you realize we're not coming back.
Right.
Okay, there's no coming back. So that's why I'm saying to you, I spoke to the district attorney's office this morning. Today is the day where if there's any changes, today would be the day that let's decide it up. And if it's not you, it's not you.
it's not me.
I'm just saying I want to put everything
I
on the
understand
table for options for you.
Was there anything done to look at the bank, to look at, maybe putting a camera out there, see if this person comes back? Anything done like that? Did anyone look into the partial plates? I don't know how to run that stuff. Find out the BPHs in Massachusetts, or the BHPs, or the HPBs. I'm not sure how sure she was on the plate, but officers do it all the time. We call in numbers, we transcribe certain numbers in the back. I'm hoping something like that will be done to try and help me out.
We've tried to do everything we can to put the best light on this. I've only known two of the trucks that look like yours, and the planes aren't even close to yours. I don't know. I go back to what I have. I go back to the hair, I go back to the build, I go back to the cargo pants, I go back to the truck, I go back to the plate, I go back to you in the city. You're adamant that you weren't near the place.
I wasn't.
I guess it would have been a lot easier for me to say, you know, that you would drive by the place or whatever, and that, you know,
That would have been easy, but I didn't.
that's fine.
You know,
Is there anything else you want to tell us? Because this is going to conclude, if you've got nothing else to offer up.
I got thrown at this today.
Sergeant Chason agrees to undergo a polygraph test while simultaneously attempting to redirect the investigation's focus by prompting the officer to explore other aspects. Despite this, his cooperation is noteworthy. His inquiries about the car description appear strategic, potentially aimed at understanding the evidence stacked against him. This behavior suggests a possibility of further alterations to his vehicle, depending on the information contained in the incident report. However, at this stage, it seems his destiny is all but decided. The officer informs him of his temporary discharge pending the investigation's completion, signaling a critical phase in his predicament.
No, I can't think of anything right now.
Okay, anything else we can look at?
Cameras, I don't know. Can I see the photos of the truck at the ATM?
At some point you can.
Can I see the reports?
At some point you will.
This would help me in my trying to prove.
Well, we've got a case going here. You're the one that's supposed to be able to give me something to go
I gave you-
further.
I'm home with my wife.
Okay,
Interview her.
okay. Do you want us to do that?
Yes.
Okay,
If that's going to help me, of course.
all right. And you're willing to take a polygraph?
Yes.
Okay, so if I set one up with the state police, you have no problem coming in and
No.
taking it? Okay. Anything else you want to add or anything?
I'd really like to see the reports or the photos, or if I can see the photo, maybe we can prove it's not mine.
Well, the photo's not going to do us a lot other than I can tell you there's some burnt color orange in there. It's not going to depict.
Does it depict the person?
No.
What's in the back of the truck?
No.
My truck is loaded with crap all the time. If they can.
Well, we try to talk to the victim about, is there anything else in the vehicle that you could take and tell us about, whether it be internal, the bed of the truck, unfortunately, most of the attention was drawn to the individual themselves in the act. The shock value, and I think we all know about the shock value, and what this does to people.
Yeah.
So there's very little more that we can say about, or she could tell us about the incident itself, or the person.
I'm saying I have ANSI green all through my truck. It's.
Well, let's do this. We're going to set up something to interview your wife.
All right.
We're going to set up a polygraph and get it as soon as I can get it.
All right.
We're going to place you on leave.
Oh, please don't.
You're going on. I have no choice.
Please
I
don't.
have no choice.
I'm living paycheck to paycheck right now.
I have no. It's with pay.
Yeah, but still, I can't work details.
I know.
I'm on a detail right now. This will kill me. Is this going to go public?
Right now, you're on administrative leave until we finish this.
I'm begging you. Please don't do this to me.
Steve, I've talked to
Go through the
everybody.
investigation. I'm not going to interfere with the investigation. I've been here for 6 weeks.
I understand that. Well, some of this information has just come to us very recently, like since Friday. I've talked to the chief's attorney, I've talked to the district attorney's office, I've talked to the city's attorney. I don't have a choice in this. That I gotta put you out because of everything that we see at this point
How
is
quickly?
compelling. I'm gonna make the phone calls as soon as we get done here. As soon as I get one, I'll have it done.
Can I take vacation time just so it doesn't look like I'm out there being...
Do you see where I'm coming from? I mean,
I see where you're coming from. I honestly do.
I did not want to come in here Monday morning and be dealing with this situation. I don't want to be looking at one of my officers as being a suspect in anything. But in fairness to you, in fairness to the organization, there's certain things that have to happen, and this is going to be one of them. It's with pay. I'll make the phone call as soon as we get out of here. If you want to hang around, I'll actually tell you as soon as we get one done. We'll get it done,
All right.
and we'll go from there. It's not something I want to do. It's not something that's.
Can you talk to my wife first?
I can talk to your wife, but at the end of the day, where we are right now is what's going to happen. While your wife can probably provide information to us, I still gotta look at the other side of everything that's out there, and obviously, your wife would be more supportive to you than to the investigation.
Let me just try and think of somebody who might have seen me or cameras somewhere or something that, you know. This is what if this gets out and the paper gets a hold of it, and then I'm cleared? Every Google search is going to come up with my name, accused of a sex crime.
Well, what may get out there and what's confirmed out there is never going to be. You don't think that there's officers in here talking now? You don't think it's important to clear your name internally?
Yeah.
And I'm doing everything I can because it's more important to me to find the truth. And if the truth be that you are not guilty of this, to take and clear your name so that you're not walking around here with this sitting over your head for the next 20 years. I understand
Right.
that. So it's important to us, to the victim. It's also important to me, to you, to bring this to a conclusion, whether or not whichever way it may go. But you can't work the rest of your career here with these people looking at you as being potential, as being a guy that was involved in something. You just can't do that. It's important to clear your name if it's...
No, I agree with you 100%, but can we do it with me not being out on leave?
Well, I can't. Right now, Steve, minus the polygraph, you're going to get charged today with a crime. We're going to charge you. All right? I don't have a choice. We've weighed this out. We've had discussions. We've denied every way possible.
So you charge me, it's going to be out in the public. There's no...
I'm not charging you. I just said I'm waiting out the polygraph.
All right.
All right? So right now, you're on administrative leave only while we do that polygraph with no charges. And it's because you want to take that test.
Right.
Otherwise, I got very little to go on other than to take and charge you. I just don't know how. I mean, if you look at all the circumstantial evidence.
Let me see the report. Let me see the pictures. Let me try and say, this. Have you taken the pictures and held them next to my truck and look for something? Look for a dent. Look for an inspection sticker.
I don't
look
have
for
the stuff
anything.
you're looking for. I don't have all that. Right? I got a snapshot of a rear end of a truck that is.
Does it have a trailer hitch on it? Does it
I
have
got nothing. It's an ATM machine. We've got the focus of the ATM machine is on the person using the facility, not on the external pieces. So, as you know, with any picture, the internal image is sharp, the external images are blur, and that's all we have.
So it's just the back end of a truck.
That's exactly right. Which depicts mostly just color only,
No tire type, no bumper.
nothing.
It's evident that by inquiring about his discharge and seeking information about the evidence, Sergeant Chasson aims to uncover the extent of incriminating details held against him. However, revealing ongoing investigation specifics involving him could present a conflict of interest. Consequently, he finds himself relegated to days spent in discharge, awaiting the investigation's outcome without access to the investigation's unfolding details.
Looked upon poorly by your peers.
What are you going to put out to the troops?
Nothing.
I'm just going to be A1 in the book.
A1, and if you want to hang around here, I'll get you an answer. So if it can be
Yes,
today,
please.
tomorrow, whenever we can get this test.
Please.
Um,
Do I need a lawyer, or should I contact my union?
that's
I don't want. I
that's your
honestly
decision.
don't want to. I just want to get this done.
I don't want to tell you one way or another on an attorney. I mean, you've been very forthcoming today, but you know what your rights are. So if you want to hang in there, I'll make a phone call and see what we can find for you for an available date.
Sooner the better.
Okay.
Honestly, I'm just at a loss for words right now. You know, and I'm not blaming. I'm just.
Well, you haven't done anything to help yourself here either. Yeah, you went out there, you done some pretty weird things since this has come about. You went out there,
I changed my plate just because she came in here, and I just kind of wanted this to,
Myself and 501 will be clear.
I just wanted it over with.
I understand.
And I wasn't trying to hide. I parked in the driveway in that vehicle. I didn't run. What was it, a week later, 2 weeks later, or something? It was just like,
6106.
and if somebody's out there doing, what I'm accused of in a car like mine, in a truck like mine, with plates like mine, might as well take that equation out of it. So that's the only thing I can see that was weird. It's and I had a reason behind it. I even talked to Gregory that morning. He's just like, you might want to think about changing your plates, and it's a green plate. You can trade them in for free, and that's what I did.
Moving forward, the focus turns to the polygraph examination, a key phase in the investigation. However, there's a missing piece: the absence of any footage of the test because, as records indicate, the test never took place. It's revealed that days after the initial interview, Chasson withdrew from undergoing the lie detector test, only to later agree to it after being granted immunity. In a recorded interview, he admitted, "I just want to apologize for lying to both of you in that initial interview. I don't know. The only way I can really put it is I was engaging in inappropriate behavior."
I just want to apologize for lying to both of you on that first interview. I don't know, the only way I can really put it is I was playing with myself.
Despite Chasson's admission and the weight of evidence against him, he managed to evade criminal charges or termination from his position. Instead, he was allowed to resign. Shockingly, following his resignation from the force in 2014, he quickly secured a role as the Director of Compliance and Investigation at the Department of Public Health without any background checks. His departure from this role, occurring around February 2016, came only after Boston Television News exposed the real reason behind his exit from his previous job. The prolonged cover-up left journalists puzzled, prompting interviews with the mayor, who attributed the secrecy to advice from their counsel. However, underlying this explanation lay a far more ominous truth. In this situation, Chasson seemed to receive privileged treatment due to his status as a police officer, specifically a sergeant, with higher authorities seemingly turning a blind eye. Although City Marshal Mark Murray promptly denied these allegations, the evidence pointed in a contrasting direction. The alleged victim's testimony was deemed highly credible, yet officials claimed she wouldn't testify in court, leading them to assert the unlikelihood of securing a guilty verdict. This explanation seemed rather convenient, sparking public outrage. When asked about the lack of charges against Chasson, Murray defended the decision, stating, "I can charge you, but it doesn't mean I'll win in court." The mayor of Newburyport staunchly defended her decision, emphasizing that any police officer found to be dishonest becomes ineffective within the department. However, despite this stance, Chasson found a position of importance within the Commonwealth of Massachusetts, overseeing the state's sensitive medical marijuana program, all without the need for a reference from his previous employer. When questioned about Chasson's lack of accountability, the mayor highlighted his absence from the police force and expressed optimism that he would seek assistance. On the contrary, Chasson's attorney refuted any claims of special treatment, asserting that the investigation would not be disclosed publicly without Chasson's approval. It remains ambiguous whether Chasson faced true accountability for his actions. Although he didn't receive a financial settlement or pension upon resignation, his base salary stood at $78,400. With additional earnings from overtime and detail pay, his total income reached $143,900, positioning him as the city's fourth highest paid employee that year. This sheds light on how ex-Sergeant Stephen Chasson navigated legal loopholes. Merely lying in an interrogation can lead to years behind bars, yet admitting to it and walking away with a substantial sum of $143,000 exemplifies the flaws in our justice system. Despite the mayor's expressed regret, the evident pattern of nepotism seems to fit perfectly in this scenario. Remember, it's your curiosity that fuels this channel. Keep exploring, stay inspired, and join us for more amazing content next time.